What time is it? Good morning. I wanted to film a room tour today, didn't I? Okay, let's do this. It still feels kind of dark in here. Okay, that looks better. Let me show you around. So yeah, that's my room. Let me show you around a little bit more in depth. Alright, so as you walk down the basement stairs, hallway will split off into my room right here. Here it is in all of its glory. So you can see inside of my room I sort of have a 3-zone idea. So essentially, from this middle line right here, all the way to the end is sort of bed, closet, clothing, stuff like that. Even have a little entranceway right here where I have my backpack, a couple of shoes, a couple of snapbacks, my jackets are hanging around here, all of that stuff. I got my crossbow right here. Like, don't even ask why I have a crossbow. I just have it. So right here in this kind of wooden center aisle type of thing, I have my whiteboard where I plan out each month. Right underneath, you'll see the trend going on with random weapons just flying around down here. Alright, but now let's get into the spicy part of the room, which is my desk. Now this desk has a long history of growing with me. The desktop itself I actually just built last year, along with a lot of the stuff that's on here has been recent additions. But a lot of this stuff has been traveling around the world with me ever since, I don't know, probably 2012, 13, maybe 14. So let me show you what I got chilling around on my desk. Alright, so on my desk, I have, first of all, let's just go left to right. So on the far left side, I have just this little catch-all right here. That just stores my keys, couple of, well, knives, you know what else. Wallet, some work-related stuff, and just a whole bunch of random stuff that you might need on the fly. Right next to it is my notebook. Just, you have to be able to write stuff down to kind of catch your ideas, to hold them tight, so you can reference them later on. So let's start kind of on the computer side right here. So obviously you can see I'm a 3-monitor guy. I have been for a while now, Again, ultra wide is a new one. Love that thing. Absolutely perfect for anything that's sort of timeline related, be it audio production, be it video production, all of the stuff that I love to do. If you have a bigger screen like that, it's a game changer. Accompanying my 3 monitors for my computer, I have the Razer, what's it called again? Razer Ornata, I want to say, Ornata RGB. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just with the Razer switches, so some of them are a little bit sticky. I may or may not have poured some absolutely non-alcoholic beverages on it before and made it all sticky. But it is what it is, it works. Mouse-wise, I'm rocking the Logitech MX Master. So it's one of those mice that I've seen like years ago when the first generation came out. Always wanted one, never actually bought one, and now actually came across and bought one. And these things are the best productivity-based mouse I could ever imagine. It has the sideways scrolling wheel, which once again is a big deal for anything vertical, anything timeline focused, which again is a lot of what I do. So that's great. And then of course the scrolling wheel, which I can completely like unlock, I guess, and then just have a completely free-flowing scrolling wheel, which that's once again, it's a game changer. Like, I buy my things not because I want new things, but because I want specific features of these new things. So this mice, once again, great investment. Other than that, on the desk you'll find my Arturia Minilab MK2. I've talked about this thing in the past. It's been my first ever MIDI controller. I bought it because I needed a MIDI controller. I wanted to get into music production. Plus, main thing was that it came with the Ableton Live Lite Intro, or is it called Intro? I think it's called Intro. So I got the free spec down version of Ableton with this thing, plus I had a MIDI keyboard for like 20 bucks all in all. So that's a great deal in my opinion. Following up with the audio equipment on my desk, you can see I have in total 4 rack mountable pieces of equipment here. These are not for input. These are exclusively for output as of right now. They're not the highest quality, but they do exactly what I wanted them for a long time. And then again, just recently have actually, well, brought myself to buying them. So first of all, I have a surge protector right here. That is, in my opinion at least, a fairly critical point of any kind of studio, or even just like private setups, that you have one of these surge protectors. So first of all, it has like 8 outlets, I think, on the back, just normal power bricks. So I can control a lot of stuff. Basically, my entire desk turns on or off by punching that button right there. Everything, like the monitors, all the rack equipment, my studio monitors, my computer, all that stuff gets capped, so there's no electricity flowing when I don't need it to. Plus, the name Surge Protector, it protects your equipment from power surges. So for example, before, so I live near a big farm, and we're on the same power network, right? So if the farmers have these huge like grain dryers going, every time they shut them off, it's essentially like a huge like blow dryer, right? So every time they turn them on or off, there's a big power spike, and every light and every lamp and whatever just flickers. So before I had the power surge protector, my monitors would pop, and it's just not a good thing for your hardware, for your equipment, to be susceptible to such an unstable sort of power network. So that's kind of the first thing right here. The second one right on top is going to be it's a headphone amp. It has, don't let me lie, it has 6 inputs, 6 outputs. So for example, the first 2 right here I have going just to my monitors left and right. Third one is for my headphones, and then I have 3 additional ones if I ever want to work with the second pair of headphones, or if I wanted to get a second pair of monitors, like some mix cubes, stuff like that, that I could control all of that from here, which is a great little feature. Following up with the rack equipment on this side right here, you'll see I have an equalizer right here. I have a stereo 15-band equalizer. And this thing, again, since it's only for output and not for input, its main job, or its only job actually, is so I can set equalizers for how I want to listen to my music and general content that I consume through my studio monitors and headphones, so on and so forth. But again, not for recording, just for playback. Same with the compressor up top right here. I have a 4-channel compressor. So for example, if late at night I'm watching videos, right, and I'm watching these videos, and you know, like everybody who watches any kind of YouTube content knows that sometimes videos get really loud all of a sudden. And that used to always be one of those things where you like hectically try to turn down the volume, With the compressor, I can turn it on, I can have everything compressed down, so if the video spikes all of a sudden, it immediately gets compressed down and I'm not waking up the entire house, which is a nice feature for night people like I am that stay up till 4 a.m. The main piece of my desk for audio production that I use the most is 10 out of 10 going to be the Ableton Push. What a sound. So the Ableton Push, I'm planning on doing a video on this specifically as well to kind of cover that whole thing. It's straight up a dream. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. So keep your eyes peeled for a full review type of comparison between, you know, traditional MIDI keyboards type of video, in which I'm just essentially going to rave and rant for 15 minutes to actually how good this thing is. Right, one thing I think I skipped earlier is the actual studio monitors. So my monitors are the Tannoy Rebel T5i, I'm pretty sure they're called. Honestly, I just have them because my dad bought them a long time ago, like probably, what, maybe not 10 years, but pretty close to it. And when I started to take music more serious and needed better sound, I'm a huge audiophile, these things just kind of hopped over into my possession. And they've served me well so far. You can see that the glue on these little rings right here is kind of starting to come loose a little bit. Not a big deal, I've glued them a couple times already. But yeah, they're holding up incredibly great. They offer me all the sound quality I need for now. So until I upgrade to something bigger, maybe like an 8-inch, these guys will serve me extremely well. Alright, and to the side of it, if I move this lamp a little bit right here, I have my Audio-Technica M50Xs. Which are, once again, in my opinion, about one of the best quality like headphones that I could have bought for myself, for my preferences, for my circumstances. So yeah, super pumped that I could get my hands on these things. Yeah, interface, honestly, same idea than with the speakers. My dad bought this a good amount of years before. He actually passed it along to me sometime about 4 or 5 years ago. It's old, it runs off a FireWire. Yeah, I'm definitely starting to notice its limitations and its drawbacks, so that's probably going to be up for, well, exchange, I guess, fairly soon, so I can get my hands on a new, better interface. Alright, now let me actually pull down my desk right here, my nice stand-up desk. Once again, completely revolutionized the way that I use my desk. It's fantastic. My PC, my computer right here. It's probably going to be a little hard to notice, but you'll just have to trust me on what I'm telling you about it. This computer, in its core, has been around, again, for probably about 9-ish years. And over time, I've been upgrading it and upgrading it and upgrading it and upgrading it. Just the kind of switching out one part at a time to right now where it's basic. Like, it started off as like a cheap, like just office computer, right? So I switched out this, I switched out that, motherboard, then the graphics card, then all of this. If you asked me 3 years ago, I said my PC is a bomb. Like it works great, it's fast and all that stuff. Right now, again, all these parts have been aging a long time again. I'm rocking currently an NVIDIA GTX 680, so it's a graphics card that's probably good, like 4 years, 5 years old. So definitely time for an upgrade, but it works, it does what I need it to, more or less. It's not the most stable by any means, but you know, it gets the job done. Alright, and before I drift off once again, we covered that this right here is the bed zone. This right here is kind of the work desk zone. You can see I also behind it have a fridge right there. I have another drawer for like underwear and pants and stuff like that. Just with a whole bunch of decorational stuff that means a lot to me, stuff, you know, that I just wanted to have around. Something cool like this little light up, you know, kind of whiteboard type of thing. And then on top of the fridge right here, I have a little media station or network station, I guess, with Wi-Fi, my Philips Hue stuff, camera chargers, an old mixer, some microphones, you know, just kind of stuff that I have flying around. So this entire thing right here is going to be considered kind of the sort of desk area, right? You can also see I have these nice like wall panels, like this little leaf stuff, this little foliage in here. I've always been a basement kid, and I've always realized how much a little bit of greenery can do to a basement to absolutely transform the feel of the room. And honestly, I feel like I've done a pretty decent job at that. I'm very happy with it, and I'm definitely gonna miss the wall behind my desk in the new studio. Alright, and then let's end this whole thing up with the recording kind of zone. Previously, I had my drum kit set up back here. It was probably going to right about this like carpet line right here. So all of that space right there was non-usable for anything else. I just had my drum kit up there, and to be honest, unfortunately I wasn't playing enough to justify my drums taking up the entire room there, or the entire third zone right here. So yeah, as you can see, I stacked it up right there. It's a very, very, very sad picture. This thing right here was my first big musical investment I made all by myself. When I bought this, I used to give drum lessons. When I was still in high school, my like last 2 years of high school, I used to give drum lessons up to like, I don't know, maybe up to about, what, like 18, 19 students a week at max time. In this time, obviously I was spending a lot of time drumming. I was saving up a lot of money to buy my first, like, baby, to kind of buy my first real big instrument investment rather. So yeah, I bought the Mapix Armory set in the purple haze color, and honestly, I'll throw some pictures on here so you can see how it looks when it's all built up in all of its glory with all the hardware and whatever on it. It's so beautiful. It's like, till the day right now, I still think that this is the most beautiful drum kit that I could have chosen, that I could have bought. And I'm not much of a color person, but this purple, it just looks so good with the kind of wood grain in there. It looks fantastic. So I couldn't be happier with the drum shells themselves. Cymbals and all that stuff, honestly at that point in time I didn't have enough money left to buy really high quality stuff. So I have a couple Zoltan cymbals right here. You can see the other cymbals. That pasty ride, the pasty 101 ride, it's been chilling with me again for very, very long time. I've had that forever, dating back to like my first drum set when I was like 7, 8 years old. So that thing's just been chilling around just because rides are so expensive. And then I have another Zoltan Crash down there, as well as another pasty China cymbal. Alright, let's get kind of to the main recording booth section right here. So you can see that's where my desk is. Continues straight down here. So these things right here are little acoustic walls that I built in about like 11th grade, I think, of high school. So probably about 3 years ago, about that, 2-3 years ago. So these things are just IKEA shelves, right? You probably have seen this IKEA shelf before. And I screwed to the back of it like the back side of like a closet, right? This like really thin sort of whatever it is. And then I just cut the fit and squeeze in here these little acoustic foam panels, which is, it's great. It's been very cheap, but they've been very, very handy to just have around to just get some better sound. And then I just have these like little, they're not even hinges, they're just these little, you know, little things, these little grappling hooks or whatever. On all the sides, so I can kind of set them up like this. This is a Rode NT5. I bought these originally as drum overheads. And for drum overheads, don't get me wrong, they're awesome. They're absolutely great. But again, once kind of my drumming ended with me just not having enough space in here and me wanting to have more space for vocal production stuff, these things just don't cut it anymore. They just don't come near the quality of a large diaphragm microphone. You can see in the back right there. So yeah, these are just kind of temporary. They're still the only microphones that I own that would be, you know, viable for audio production stuff. And right now I actually have a rental Audio Technica 804040. So it's one of those microphones that I fell in love with back in the day when I used to go on musical tours. So I used to be a drummer for a musical, and then in Germany we'd go on like a full tour through like 4 or 5 cities and just perform this musical day by day. And our tech guy actually had a pair of these guys as drum overheads. So that's kind of how I got to know these things. And I really started playing around while we were still on tour with these microphones, and I completely fell in love with them. Once again, this dates back like probably 2, 3, 4 plus years. I haven't gotten myself to actually buy one yet. I'm just sort of getting back into vocal production, stuff like that. So it's high up on the buying list, and it will come not too long from now, I hope at least. But yeah, for right now it's just a rental that I got along in McQuaid, paying like 20-30 bucks for a month, if that. And it's just, yeah, standing right here in my little vocal booth right now, ready to go, and it's already been used. It will continue to be used further within this month of rental. And yeah, that's about it for the whole recording section right here. Once again, I have a whole bunch of just like leftover like hardware, mic stands, light stands, No little bags, little extra. I have another cymbal down there, my kick drum pedal, cases for microphones, all that sort of good stuff. So that was my room. That's the studio. That's the setup I'm rocking right now. I really wanted to kind of document how I have things set up right now. Just because I'm moving around a lot, I've always been. So my rooms and my setups and studios and all that stuff constantly keeps on changing. And with this right now, I have a perfect way of looking back in the future, seeing how I had everything set up, so on and so forth. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this little tour of mine. I'll keep on producing a couple of videos of the actual move and of me setting up the new studio and all that stuff. And I'll take a look at well, yeah, how that'll all work out. The space is definitely going to be a good amount smaller. I'm not going to be having such a long stretched room, which I'm definitely going to miss. There's some really big things that I'm not going to miss about my situation right here. But it is what it is. Something new is always coming. Something new is usually something good. Maybe not at first, but it'll always kind of turn out to be better than you expected. So yeah, I'm super pumped. We have about like 2-3 weeks until I have to have this entire room empty. So I'm seeing a mosquito. I thought those were dead already. I totally got it. I totally got it. But yeah, I'm very excited to see where this whole space is going to go, where all of my furniture is going to go, what sort of complications I'm going to run into, so on and so forth, because there will be a lot. Yeah, again, I'll let you know once everything is happening. Check it out on Instagram as well. I'll be posting a little bit more regularly like stories of what's happening and stuff like that, if you want to be informed at all times. And other than that, I'm super pumped to take you guys on this journey with me, and we'll find out together where I end up, what sort of setup situation I have, what sort of acoustic situation I have. So yeah, with that, take everything I said with a grain of salt, and I hope you enjoyed everything. I hope you took some inspiration, especially with the lighting and all that stuff. I might do a separate video on lighting as well in the future, once I'm in the new space, just kind of explaining all of my different lighting setups and how I have everything set up. And yeah, up until then, I hope that you guys are doing fine. I hope that you guys are still staying creative and most of all happy and healthy out there. And I hope to see you guys soon in the next video. Take care.